Welcome, everyone, to the Space Game Junkie podcast. I, as always, am your co host, Brian, and joining me, as always, is your co host, Jim.
I've got a Millennium Falcon in
You
this
kind
game.
of do. You kind
It's
of do.
it's pretty awesome.
You do have a thing.
Yeah.
Um, we have a guest this week, folks. Welcome back. Whoa, what the hell is that? Uh, wow. Hi. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that was. But, whoa. Okay, that's
Are you
not.
being attacked? What's happening?
I'm not. Arthur, is that you? Are you typing, Arthur?
Oh, I'll stop.
Uh,
I was tweeting. Sorry.
So you can't tell who it is because all three of us have clicky ass keyboards. So
I have.
we're all
Yeah,
like looking at the other one like, who's doing that?
yeah, I have a very.
I was gonna blame
loud.
Brian.
It could have been me. I've got the big old loud, classic Model M here.
Yeah,
But yeah,
mine's not so clicky anymore because I got those rubber buttholes that you put under the keys.
the
and,
O-ring.
Yeah, the O-rings. I'm gonna
O-ring.
show you my O-ring. Oh. Yeah, but anyway.
We have a guest. Yeah.
Hey, Arthur.
Arthur, welcome. We haven't had a
Hello.
guest. We haven't had a guest since we're back from the hiatus. So you're the first. So welcome back. Welcome, Arthur. Arthur and his crew at Anisopter Games. I hope I said that right.
Would you say you have a crew? Like, are there gang signs and like color of the day and stuff? Is it a posse?
Um. Well, they say three's a crowd, and there are only two of us.
Oh, okay. So it's the two-man gang. All right.
Arthur and your friend Colin, right? That's the other guy, right?
Colin is an indie voyage guy.
Oh, okay. I can't keep track. So Indie Voyage is publishing you, but you're with Anisopter, like helicopter, Anisopter Games.
Right.
Okay, I'll try and keep that.
So
Yeah.
so how does that? Let's go down that rabbit hole because I don't understand as a indie publisher person or an indie developer, and then you have the publisher that's helping you publish, right? So are they getting you the inroads into like Steam Greenlight and getting it on Desera and that kind of thing? They're like managing that part for you, or what's their role?
Yeah, to some degree. So it's been very collaborative because Colin in indie, it's just Colin and Rob and Christine, and they're also kind of indies too. They're like an indie publishing company. So we've been all kind of working on it together. But basically, the breakdown is that I make the game, and they try to do as much of the stuff that's not that as possible. So, so Colin, for example, Colin captured all the gifts and Rob wrote all the Kickstarter descriptions and everything. And they do play testing, and they help with QA, and they help me organize bugs, and then they write all the emails to all the YouTubers. Probably you guys, I think, emailed by Colin, right? And they help me apply to hundreds of different. Oh my God, it's only talking.
Well, the game we're here to talk about, it's currently in Kickstarter. It's called Reassembly. It's been kicking for when did it start? It's been going for about 2 weeks now. It looks like, and you're more than halfway to your goal of $28,000, which is a nice, modest goal, I have to say. I see a lot of space sims. They launch a Kickstarter. Space games. They launch a Kickstarter with like 80,000, 100,000, blah blah blah. It's like, why should I give that much money? But 28,000 seems much more modest. But let's talk about the Kickstarter real quick. How is that going from your end? Because I've always been fascinated as to how a Kickstarter works from the developer / publisher end. I mean, I know how it works from a fan end. I mean, you were saying they made all the GIFs and did all the writing. I gotta say, animated GIFs are awesome, and they really do help. I mean, the text is good too, but it's a good mix of animated GIFs, which people love. People love animated GIFs. Who doesn't love a good animated GIF? I ask you. But these are really well done animated GIFs that show a lot of variation with the gameplay. And then you have good text too, which I'm sure is helping. And you also have clearly defined pledge it levels, which is great. So, how much work went into creating the Kickstarter, and how much work is going into currently maintaining it?
It was a fair amount of work. We had spent a long time kind of promoting the game prior to Kickstarter, And so like we were able to leverage a lot of that, and like we had already captured a bunch of gifs, and we had like it took us a really long time to figure out how to show off the game well, like to make which kind of gifs are most appealing. There's all this stuff like that you have to learn, like how to explain the game precisely in such a way that it sounds cool. But once we put that stuff in, I don't think the actual Kickstarter did more than enough. It was about a week full-time work for like people to get all that set up, but almost all of our work is gone actually developing the game. Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry. One question, Arthur. Are you using a headset microphone or are you using a separate microphone?
I have a separate mic.
Okay, because you keep going in and out. So I'm just going to please suggest that you kind of stay within a certain area of the microphone if possible.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No problem. No problem. It's what we learn, as we go.
We're just getting the fade. So.
Okay, I'll stop. I'll just stop. Stop the microphone.
Well, you see, what you can't see is that he's actually explaining this through interpretive dance. So he's kind of all over the room, and
yeah, we have a voice text computer advanced testing team. So let's see. Yeah, Kickstarter. It's a fair amount of work to maintain. So I'm mostly doing the game development part of that. Colin is mostly running Kickstarter, and Rob have been writing and everything like that. We've been running these tournaments on Twitch where people design ships and then you submit all the ships and then the AI will match the ships up like one versus one, and we'll switch ship into the best design ship. So I've been doing a lot of development work to get that all to work, to add new features for the tournaments, like fix the AI bugs and so on, to try to make it look really good.
Yeah, I saw that. Sorry, I saw they have tournaments, and how did those go? Did you? I haven't had time to watch them because I'm still unpacking and such. But how did the tournaments go?
Oh no, yeah, it's been really fun. I think they went really well. We got so we have like a pool of matches. We've been submitting ships, and we had about a little over 100 ships in the last tournament. And it's just like super fun to watch. People come up with all different ship designs, and then they blow each other up, and it's really dramatic. So everyone's designing ships and is testing them, and then we're all watching on Twitch and we'll see which ship destroys which ship. I don't even know. Right? So it's very exciting.
Yeah, I'm still having trouble hearing you, to be honest. Jim, can you hear him? Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty faint. So.
I can try turning it on.
Again,
I don't know if it's like if you have a fan going or something, sometimes the noise canceling will freak it out or something.
That might be what's happening because I think I might hear a fan going.
Oh shoot, wait, my microphone's I'm using the wrong mic.
Oh!
That's not your mic. Sorry,
Don't worry about it. This is.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Can you hear me better now?
Oh God,
better?
yes. Oh,
Okay.
that is 1,000 times better. Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had this external mic and I had it like right in front of me and I was talking to it and then I realized it wasn't plugged in and it was using the one built into my laptop.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Okay, there we go. Now we can hear you so much better. So let's talk about, now that we can hear you, let's talk about the game itself.
Yeah, do you want to roll it back and start over again because it's going to be like such a difference in the audio. We might as well.
You know what? Sure.
All
Are
right.
you cool with that? Are you cool with that, Arthur?
Fine with me, yeah.
Okay, folks, we're going to start the stream again. Kind of going to cut it and we'll restart. So, Jim, do you want to stop and start? We'll start the stream again.
Good.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to Take 2 of the Space Game Junkie podcast. I, as always, am your co-host, Brian, and joining us, as always, is your co-host, Jim.
Heidi ho. This is like space Legos mixed with Flow and some Brian Eno soundtrack going on. And
is Flow that game that looks like the flower, like the neon flowers? Is that
no, it's like you're like a tapeworm floating in a puddle of water, and
Oh,
you just
that
swim
one.
around and it like grows bigger as you pick things up and eat the other critters that are float. It's one of those games that was like just super ambient, like mellow, chill out, almost an art game. And then so we have that here, but now you can build a Millennium Falcon and put lasers and missiles on it. So
Right.
it's a little different. So,
And
but
that's that.
I got that vibe initially. I was just like, yeah, this is kind of an ambient chill out game, and then stuff started shooting at me, and I was like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah, it really isn't that relaxing if you move anywhere. So we have a guest this week, now with a working microphone. Uh, Arthur, oh God, Arthur something. Damn it,
Danskin.
Danskin. Thank you. Jesus, he.
No, right. Me too.
Oh, why do I sound like I'm across the room, Knack? I'm sorry. I'm just using my normal headset here. But anyway, Arthur here is here to talk with us about his currently Kickstarter game called Reassembly, that is currently pretty much in the middle of it's in the middle of its campaign, right? Pretty much, like
Pretty
right
much.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nearly halfway there.
yeah, and you have 16 days to go, and you're almost at 60% of your, might I say, modest $28,000 goal, which is great. I mean, ClickTrack has you at totally passing your goal, and ClickTrack right now has you getting to 127% of your goal, which might actually go up because people do that reminder thing, and like so the last 48 hours you might get like a flurry
Yeah.
of I do that all the time, honestly. Like I'll see a project, I'll be like, I don't know right now, I'll come back. I do that all the time with Kickstarter.
Yeah.
It's
That's
very
like
handy.
a common pattern that people see for sure.
Right. But right now, you got a little over 851 backers, of which I am one. I just wanted to say.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh yeah, no, your game looks great. So you work for a company called Anisopter Games, and your publisher is Indie Voyage. And so we were talking a little bit before to just kind of make a clear line in the sand. You're actually programming the game. You're making it run and work and testing it and all that, while the guys at Indie Voyage are handling the Kickstarter, the updates, and the tournaments and all that. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. They're also helping me with like production of the game, so like scheduling of the development work and QA and things like
Oh
that.
wow! So they're like full service almost. Or at least they sound very involved.
Yeah, their goal, their Indie Voyage's goal is just to make the whole indie development process much easier. Just to take some clueless indie developer who's good at making games but not much else, and then make the whole process work and make sure that the products are delivered on time. That's their pitch.
That sounds like a wonderful niche to fill, because I run into a lot of indie devs who run Kickstarters, and they'll be like they don't put up any updates, or they put up maybe one update or whatever, and it just doesn't feel like it has enough chutzpah. Like you got the brain, but you need a little bit of that marketing brawn. And so it sounds like this is a great fit for that.
Yeah, it's been hugely valuable for me because I can just focus on working on the game, and those guys help. Yeah, I think that the whole process is going much more smoothly working with them, and I think that the final game will be better, and the backers will be better communicated with, and everyone will be happy.
So
And I'm super happy because I don't have to talk to people as much. I just I just get to work on the game, which is
I
great.
gotta be honest. I gotta be honest with you. I work in internet marketing myself, search engine optimization.
Uh-huh.
And when I started at my current company, I was client facing. That's exactly what I was doing, and I'm not great at client facing. I get a little nervous. I meander a bit. So they put me in this technical job where all I have to do is diagnose and find problems, and it's so much better. So
Yeah.
it kind of sounds like the same thing. You don't have to talk to people too much. You get to work on the stuff you actually like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's awesome. So the game is doing fairly well on Kickstarter. Congratulations. It looks like it's going to make its goal. So let's talk about the game itself. Jim is playing it in the stream right now.
Getting
for
murdered.
Those of you just on audio. Jim has made what is a little gray and purple Millennium Falcon looking thing with
Yes.
look like pew pew lasers and some rockets.
It's
you're getting
it's aesthetically pleasing and
Well,
yet
it was.
sucky.
It was aesthetically pleasing until you just got your ass handed to you.
I want to make a Voltron. Can I do that?
You
What?
probably can.
Probably.
So give us the pitch of this game, Arthur, because
Yeah.
it looks pretty. It looks basically like, if I had to give it a rundown, it's basically a game where you can build your own ships, but you can also have little fleets, and you're in kind of a living universe where people are vying for resources and territory.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I describe it. I usually say it's a spaceship building game, where which is open world in a dynamic ecosystem. So yeah, you build a spaceship, and they're out of little blocks, and the dynamics of the spaceship are completely controlled by the blocks. So it just calculates the mass and the moment of inertia and so on. And you have to place the thrusters in the right position, otherwise you won't be able to turn or thrust forwards, or so on. So it feels very different depending on where you place your thrusters. And so the game is open world. So you build the spaceship and you fly around, and there's all these different factions, and you can fight against them, and they kind of fight against each other. And you can just go around and gradually collect resources and become slightly more powerful. And eventually, you can build a giant battlecruiser, and you can build a fleet. Also, if you build a factory block, you can if you add a factory block to your ship, you can build a fleet, and you can spawn ships, and then have them follow you around, and you can gradually conquer the universe. You can also create ships with factories that create more ships. So it's sort of self-perpetuating, self-replicating, automatic spacecraft kind of game. Yeah.
Which I played like about an hour and a half of it, and I had a good time flying around. Now, Jim, the version you've got, it's a press version. So do you know you can hit 3 and select another ship?
Yeah.
But you're
Yeah, I
building
know.
one right now.
I am building. I'm a builder, sir.
Because I was playing with some of like this big, long Discovery-looking thing with like all these lasers and missiles on it. That was fun because I was killing everything. But it looks like basically when you kill a ship, it leaves behind some like looks to be different resources. Like there's a purple one that's an R. Can you explain how the resource gathering and the resources work?
Of course, yeah. So there's the game has 2 basic resources. There's C and R, and so R is sort of like it's like this sort of it's this resource that's kind of available ambiently in the environment, and everything is kind of made out of it. That's the sort of high-level view. It's in the game. It's basically produced by plants, space plants, and then all of the different factions will kind of suck the resources up and use them to build more ships. And so also when you destroy a ship, then they'll drop some resources which are proportional to the size of the ship. And you can, so the R are useful for 2 different things. You can use them to unlock new kinds of blocks, together with the second resource, which I'll describe in a minute. And you can also, once you have a factory block, you can use them to build ships directly. So you can sort of like you can bulldoze your way through a bunch of enemy factions, blow them all up, take all their resources, and then take those resources and convert them into more ships. So the second resource is, and the other critical thing about R is that it's sort of stored in your ship. So if your ship gets destroyed, you lose all your R. But you can bring it to friendly space stations, and then they'll give you the second resource, which is called C, or credit. And those are also useful for unlocking blocks. You can use them. You can also use them to increase the point cap. So your ship, when you build a ship, you have a defined point cap, and each kind of block has a point value. And so you can build whatever ship you want up to the point cap. And if you want to increase the point cap, then you can spend resources on that and build a larger ship.
Okay. And what is the P? What is that one?
P is the point cap. So that's that's like how big of a ship you can build. So on the stream right now, you can see he's got a ship to do 66 out of 186 total P.
Yeah, it's up here. The green.
Yeah, in the upper left corner.
Yeah, I see that. Okay, I was wondering about that. Okay, so that's pretty clear. There's only 2 resources, which should make it easy, and you could exchange the purple stuff for the yellow stuff at a space station. But if you blow up, you lose all the R.
Right.
And I did love how I was flying around that you might destroy a ship and it leaves around some R, but someone else might take it before you can turn around and get to it. I did love that.
Sometimes your own guys, which is really douchey of them.
Well, and yeah, that's like a big part of the game, though. Like, is that you're just like a guy in the world. Like, you're not really like there's a bunch of guys on your team, and they're just you don't have any powers that they don't have, right? Like, they collect resources, they get credits, they build bigger spaceships, So you're not like some special savior of the universe and only you get to collect resources. That's the idea.
And so they're basically doing the same thing. They're basically doing the same thing you are. They're collecting resources to build their own fleets. Basically.
So your allied ships will collect resources, and if they have a factory, then they can build their own ships. And if they don't, then they'll find a nearby ship that does have a factory or a space station, and they'll bring the resources over there. And then the space station can build more ships. So everyone is trying to reproduce however they can.
So I'm trying to find a design here that because the way that it. So are you calculating mass and stuff of the components as far as where they are from center of or from the center mass of the ship, and that's why since I've got the thrusters out here on the nose, then I can rotate a lot more quickly because it helps because they're far out, right?
Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
Okay.
Very cool. So basically, you have a universe with other ships flying around doing that thing, and then you have these asteroids with trees on them. And you basically shoot the trees to collect the resources from them?
You can shoot them if you want, but they don't actually draw more resources that way. You just have to sort of wait for them. They spawn these little seeds, the little green things that are coming off, and the seeds will sometimes land on other asteroids and then create more. But if a seed just kind of gets lost in space, and then eventually it'll disappear and drop a little pocket of resources. So it's kind of like you're collecting the seeds. Yeah. If you follow that one around it's going off screen.
Well, I'm just looking at. There's resources that are already in amongst that bastard. Got it. Anyway, there's resources in amongst the trees as well. So do they just occasionally bear fruit, like right there on the? Because that's what I've been doing. Is I've lurked around the forested asteroids. And just they will spawn, resources down toward the roots, and I'll suck those in just by flying past.
Yeah. Sometimes the seeds. I think what's happening is that seeds are getting kind of caught in with the asteroids, but it's like wheat kernels falling on the ground, right? And you kind of just go pick them up, something like that.
So it's like a whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
But you get better points for killing other ships, though.
Yeah. It's If you want
Holy crap!
It's easy to capture resources rather than just like being a cow and grazing.
There, I got. So whenever you get beat up, your ship kind of rebuilds itself, and what is it consuming to do that? Is it using the R that it has on board to rebuild itself, or does it just do that for free?
It does that for free. The idea is that you should have this sort of essence contained in the core of your ship. Which was imbued there when your ship was fabricated, and that allows the ship to kind of project the rest of itself around it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
So.
Yeah, totally.
That's a really important part of the game, though, because it lets you design a spaceship and not worry about it getting damaged. You can just design it. You can put a lot of care into your spaceship, and then if it gets blown half off, you just retreat a little bit and it'll regrow. Then. You don't have to rebuild it manually or anything like that.
Very nice. So you said you could build in the game child ships, I think it's called, where if you have a factory, you can build other ships along with you.
Yeah.
And I noticed there's a command mode in the game, but I didn't really figure out how to use that. Is that what you use when you have multiple ships?
So the command mode is complementary. You can also recruit ships for environment using command mode. So basically, when you spawn a ship, the ship starts out kind of following you, and then you can, if you want, you can use command mode to release the ship, and that'll kind of give you some resources. Because you're sort of contributing to your faction, right? So you're getting credits by creating ships and then releasing them into the environment. You're contributing to your race, and then so you get credits for that. And you can also spend credits to recruit other ships. So if you're feeling like you keep getting killed in a certain area,
oh God,
use command mode to spend some of your credits.
that is a really large bunch of ships. So yeah, I mean this is kind of like playing with space Legos. Which is kind of neat.
That's very much the idea. Oh.
No, we've seen we've seen some games before where it was like, oh yeah, you can build your own ship and you can do things. And there's been like early access for some other games and stuff, but none of them really struck me as immediately approachable as this thing. Because usually you're building like a cap ship and you're sticking a whole bunch of turrets on it and that kind of thing. But here it's like I can build something pretty light and quick, and then like this thing that I've got is basically a fighter. But I saw that you had some prefab designs that were for freighters and stuff that was in here. Some of these guys have guns that I have no idea. I mean, I guess I have to get a lot of money and unlock them, right? Because if you hit U, you go into this data bank, and then there's all the components that I assume that I can get. Is there more stuff than what's shown here, or this is the full total of what you have right now?
If you open the data bank, that's all the blocks that are currently in the game. But I think we'll probably add a few more blocks for the final game. And the other thing that we want to do is let you use blocks from enemy factions. So everything in the whole game is built using the same modular system, right? So
okay.
I think you might be able to do something like scan enemy blocks and then add them to your data bank and then build things with them.
So what I've been doing is I go over and I pick up a bunch of the R, killing enemy ships and stuff, and I've been returning it to my base, and that gets me a lot of C, but then my R is gone. So what I really need to do is I have to have enough containers on the ship to hold a lot of R, and then wait till I've got all that R on board, and then come in here to the research menu and unlock stuff. All right.
Yeah. You have to. Some of the R values are really high, and you actually have to build like a pretty large ship with a lot of containers in order to unlock them.
And you have to actively avoid your own star bases too, because they'll suck it out of you. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely.
Someone asked, Knack at chat, can you build your own safe haven, like your own base? Because I read somewhere that you can activate deactivated bases, but like, is that like a spawn point? Is that a safe zone or something? How does that exactly work?
So you can the whole world has a bunch of deactivated bases that are of your faction that are kind of spread around, and you can go activate them. And if you have a factory, you can also just arbitrarily create stations. And any block that you spawn, if you spawn a ship and it has a factory block on it, then that ship with the factory block automatically becomes like kind of a quote unquote spawner, which is kind of like a station. And if you get killed, it can respawn you. So every time you get killed, it just finds the nearest. The game just finds the nearest spawner, and then it respawns you. And those spawners are creating other ships too. So you can definitely kind of spread yourself out and create. You can conquer territory. You can create stations, and then you can like use that as a launching off point.
Oh, so basically, death does not have that big a penalty in this game. Basically, you lose the R you were carrying.
Yeah.
But that's it. You can run back and try and get that, and if someone steals it, you could shoot them.
So what's the win condition? Somebody takes over the center?
Yeah, I mean, so right now, like, there's a whole bunch of different factions. I think there's like 10 different factions, and the one in the center is super powerful and really hard to kill. There's not like a explicit victory condition right now, but the kind of the thing to do is to try to move towards the center of the map and conquer territory until you get to the middle. And if you can like conquer like a big chunk of the middle, then you're pretty much the most powerful thing in the world.
So you're in conquering things. Is that basically like you have taken possession of the enemy spawners so that they cannot come back?
Yeah, so you can destroy them on the minimap. You can actually change the colors on the minimap. It's kind of
oh neat. What the hell is this guy got going on? He's got like little drones that are flying around and shooting at me with lasers. That's cool. I've never seen that before.
Oh yeah, that guy that you're shooting at right now has drones too. Has different kind of drones. Oh, he has 2 different kinds of drones. That guy actually picked up those laser drones are from a different faction, but that blue and red faction you're fighting right now has the ability to pick up blocks from the environment and kind of stick them on to empty sections of their ship.
Oh.
So he's actually using enemy laser drones to shoot you.
Oh, neat. Do you get to choose which faction you're going to be, and then you get the powers of that faction, or are you just generic and only the AI has cool things?
Yes. Well, so right now there's one faction that is sort of like the player faction you'd always play as. I think I have like kind of an experimental feature where you can play as other factions. I'm not sure if that'll make it into the final game or not. It requires a lot of rebalancing of the blocks and everything like that. The ability to attract blocks and stick them onto your ship, though, is something that the player will probably be able to do. I had that feature in an earlier version of the alpha, but we took it out because the interface was kind of awkward. But I know what to do. It's just like one of the things on the list.
Okay.
To add.
Speaking of the interface, I like how not only simple it is, but how many options you have to control your ship. You have basically 3 of them and you can cycle through them with the. So yeah, basically right now you are at one faction, but you can take the blocks of another faction and build ships using those blocks. So you basically have access to eventually all the other blocks. It sounds like.
Yeah. A lot of the sort of like interesting things you can do in the game are mostly build all kinds of interesting ships and then fight all kinds of interesting different ships. So we get this kind of like exponentially increasing number of interesting ships as you add more blocks. Where like, oh, you should go fetch this item and bring it to this guy because he's wounded and he needs the healing salve kind of thing. There's definitely not going to be that. But there might be some other kinds of objectives like that we've considered. Like something like kind of like boss fights is something that we put a lot of thought into, where there's like a specific ship and then you need to go to this area and fight and do this like really intense battle, and you need to like win in this specific area, otherwise you won't be able to advance.
Oh, very cool.
Something like that, or like I don't know, like maybe some kind of racing thing. I don't know. It's all in flux. But right now we definitely have the capturing territory, and that's a fairly like deep thing too, like just capturing territory because
absolutely,
yeah, it creates a lot of emergent possibilities because like there's all different factions and they can like you can take advantage of like battles between 2 different factions, and then you can like swoop in and blow them up while they're damaged. You can build a giant battleship, or you can spawn like a fleet and then lead your like fleet around as like a tiny little ship. And so there's a lot of different ways to do it.
So once you build a fleet, how do you command it? Does it like just follow you, and if an enemy comes by, it just attacks it? Does it gather resources on its own? I mean, how does fleet command work?
They pretty much follow you, and then they sort of try to help you out. There's not a lot of explicit control besides like positioning. It's not like an RTS or something like that.
Okay.
But they follow you, and they will like they have kind of a list of priorities. If there's something shooting at you, then they'll shoot it back. If there are something shooting at you and there's some resources, they'll go get some resources and bring them to you.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's good. I mean, it doesn't need to be complex, and this sounds like it makes it just again more approachable for people who just want to jump in and start shooting stuff and taking territory.
Definitely. That's like really a big goal, is to make it be really like just like Legos, right? Like you just get these pieces and you kind of snap them together, these spaceships, and they kind of behave in a relatively reasonable way. Like also the other thing about the fleet AI is that it's very highly reactive to what kind of ship it's flying.
Right.
So for example, if you build a spaceship with like some railguns, which are like really long range, then that ship will like try to stay far away from enemies and shell them from afar. If you build something with a lot of missiles, it'll have a similar strategy. If you build something with some really short range, powerful lasers, then it'll like rush in and try to blow them up really fast.
Oh, nice.
So you can kind of you don't have to you can kind of create like a little division of labor between your fleet members without having to explicitly specify it, just by building the right kind of ships.
Oh no, that is very cool. And that all makes sense. Which I like. So I noticed something about not a tournament mode. What is it? A mode? I believe you're working on, where you can test your ship against other ships that players have built. So will you be able to access and build ships that other players have built and fight and use them if you want, and also fight against them in this tournament, in this arena mode as well?
Yeah, that's the whole point. The arena mode is like. It's been really fun. It's a way to like take these cool ships that people were building from the normal game and then like put them in this really like kind of like hermetic, perfect tournament environment where you can like where every single like motion is like really critically important for victory, right? It's kind of a nice way when you're building ships anyway, because you can test them without all the sort of the normal game world. So you just there's the test button actually. If you look on the stream right now, there's at the bottom of the screen in the center there's an export button and a test button. And if you click the export button, it just generates a file which contains your ship on your desktop, and you can like email that to someone. And if you press the test button, it will select a bunch of existing ships that are built into the game, and then just like launch arena mode. It'll fight your ship that you're currently building against a bunch of rebuilt ships. It's fun because you can see the AI control your ship. You can tune it carefully. And it's fun. It's a fun way to like share ships between players, because like the whole point of the game is like to build ships, right? So we don't want to make it like, maybe it's okay to import ships that other people build, but like the really fun thing is to like take ships that you built and ships that someone else built, and then like see whose ships is better. And like just to learn about ship design, you can like run the two ships against each other and see which ship is winning, and you can sort of think about how and improve your ship design.
And will there be like a central repository where people can download and upload ships, like at least a forum or something, but maybe something in the game where people could browse available ship designs?
Probably, yes, probably.
Very cool.
We've been doing it sort of over the forum, and there's this like an online submission form, and this is something that I'm very actively working on right now. So I don't want to like promise anything because I'm still figuring it out, but that's definitely the goal, is to have it be really easy to share ships and easy to we might have something like leaderboards where you can submit ships, and then we'll run a tournament periodically, and we'll see, automatically you can see who wins. One other thing we're definitely planning to have by release is like sort of asynchronous ship sharing feature, where which ties into this tournament mode a little bit, where people will design ships and then they'll get exploded and then put in other people's games. Actually, like not just in tournament mode, but in the actual world.
Huh.
Like one of the factions will be kind of designed by another player.
That's kind of neat. So that makes it almost like what was that game Maxis did, Spore, where you were making your stuff, right? And then it would, yeah. So definitely, that's pretty awesome.
I've heard I should play the space version, the space part of that. That's what I've heard.
I don't know. I found it was fun until you got to the space part. So there's that.
So Jim, it looks like you're building a D7.
It is.
Is that
Yes,
your
I'm
goal?
guilty.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. It is a classic design that served the Empire quite well for many years.
That's right. We're gonna crush our enemies.
They
See them
stayed-
driven before us.
I mean, it's such a solid design. I mean, the basis of it has been, into the next generation D Space Nine era, so why not? I mean, it's a solid design.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to figure out what these defense cannons do. I'm gonna learn it the hard way by sticking them on here.
Aren't those like automatic turrets that just shoot at the nearest enemy, basically on their own?
Yeah, they're point defense turrets. They can shoot down missiles too.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. So you were saying that players can not only build ships. I think I saw this on the Kickstarter desk. They can build factions as well.
Well, so the idea is that you build a bunch of ships. Like you start out in an existing faction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then as you build ships, you're kind of like changing the faction. Like you're changing the pool of ships that are available to your faction. So you're kind of customizing the faction. And like the other like factions will actually spawn the ships that you've designed occasionally. Increasingly as you build more and more ships. So like if you start out in all the ships are designed by the, just packaged with the game, but as once you've been playing the game for a few hours, you'll start to see your own ships around all over the place.
That is pretty awesome. So, what was I going to ask? So it sounds like there's a high mod capabilities in this as well. So can players build, for example, their own faction to share with others?
So like to package it in the game and then have it start up. That's not something that's currently implemented, but it's like that's the kind of thing that we're really interested in doing. And it wouldn't be extremely hard. The basic, like, I mean, when I create a faction in the game, it's basically just a bunch of ships, and then there's some config files which define how the world is generated. But it's something that definitely should be possible. I'm trying to avoid super hard promising things that I'm not 100% sure that will be done by release. But that's definitely the kind of thing I really want to do, and I think it would be really cool.
Wow, the D7 is a beast.
Yeah, sweet.
It certainly looks impressive, and it flies well, and it's got lots of pew pew. So that's good. Yeah,
Yeah,
folks.
it's like Kenny Rogers, though. You got to know when to fold him and when to walk away. Whoa,
That's pretty much it. Whoa, that is what yowza!
that didn't work out so well.
That thing had big lasers. Big.
It does, man. They
So-
sent like the biggest thing that they've got down here, which sucks.
So how exactly do you conquer territory? Do you just kill all the other ships that are there and stay there long enough to hold on to it? I mean, how does conquering territory actually work in execution?
Yeah, you just kill all the enemy ships and then fill it with your own ships.
Oh.
So the territory is sort of is owned according to the minimap based on like whoever has the most ships in the sector. So you just bring some ships in, kill the enemy ships, and then bam, it's yours.
Oh, nice and simple. I like that.
You can see on the minimap actually that like gray area. The minimap is in the lower corner. The gray area is your faction's area. So you're currently controlling this sector.
Oh, but now Jim is dealing with some interlopers.
Yeah, but not enough to conquer to dispute your claim of the sector.
Right. Now, one thing I liked is I noticed when you're shooting other ships and they're actually shooting off individual blocks, and you could see the blocks flying off as the ships are damaged and destroyed.
Yes, that happens.
Yeah, that's a lot of detail, and I gotta say, with all the blocks and all the lasers and all the missiles, the engine, even in this alpha state, just runs surprisingly smoothly, even with all these objects on screen. It's very impressive. So, like, which engine did you build? This engine, is it Unity? I mean, which engine are you using to make this all work so well?
Well, no, it makes me very happy to hear you say that because it's all custom engine.
Really?
With the exception of the physics engine, I'm using a pre-built physics called Chipmunk 2D. But all the blocks and all the splitting and all the graphics is all stuff that and so I think it's been hard to get this kind of performance in something like Unity. Because it's such a the game has so many little blocks. It's like getting the handling of each ship and each block to be really efficient has really been important. So yeah, that's how it works. I used to do my last job. I was actually optimizing graphics drivers, so I had a lot of experience doing this sort of high performance programming thing.
Oh, where did you previously, if I may ask?
At NVIDIA.
Oh, I have one of your cards. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, I heard they do some graphics stuff.
I have a 770 right now, which I'm just exceedingly happy with.
Oh, sweet. Yes, that's a pretty good card.
So thank you very much for all your hard work over at NVIDIA. I've been very happy with your video cards for years. So
that's
did
good.
did you decide, if you don't mind me asking, did you decide eventually, I'm tired of the rat race for other people, I want to make my own crap? Is that what spurred you into indie game development? Is this something you had been planning for years? I mean, how did all this come about?
Well, I don't know. I just really wanted to make a computer game, basically. I liked working at NVIDIA. It's a great company. I wouldn't ever say anything bad about them. I just wanted to make a video game, and I had been writing these sort of spaceship games like this sort of my whole life, and I think I wrote and I've been playing with Legos a lot, and it just seemed like the thing to do. I don't know.
It seems very appropriate because Lego, I don't know if you heard this, but Lego is now the most popular toy, the most, I don't know if it's popular or most, it makes the most money in the world.
Really?
It was Mattel with Barbie for a while, but
Huh.
Lego just usurped them. So now Lego is the most profitable toy company in the world, I think.
Wow. Yeah, it's definitely probably a big chunk of that is from me.
I'm sure. When I was a kid, I helped them out a lot too.
Yeah.
I wish I had the room for a lot of that stuff now.
Yeah.
But I'm
Hey,
sure
what
the
it-
success of the Lego movie helped.
What do you do
Oh,
with
yeah.
this mining laser?
It's just a laser. It's just called that. It doesn't. I mean, you can blow up asteroids if you want with it, but it doesn't
I
have
was-
any special properties.
I was just hoping you beat the asteroids up and then they become like a pinata and poop out colored orbs that you could pick up. So
Oh yeah. Well, they do launch. They will explode in a bunch of flurry of colorful particles. But
Yeah.
you can't pick it.
I
So-
gotta ask. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jim.
Torpedoes are just bigger missiles, right?
The torpedoes are also unguided, and they're much bigger. So they're useful for shooting at capital ships.
Oh, okay.
They're basically impossible to hit fires with them.
I saw. I was gonna ask. I saw an asteroid while I was playing earlier that it looked like it actually had turrets on the asteroid.
Oh, yeah. There's some asteroid ships in the game. I think the player faction has some, and some of the player built ships that are in the game also look like that.
That's because I think I was seeing that because I remember now I saw an asteroid with engines on it. I was like, what the hell? And then I remember I got near an asteroid and it started shooting at me. I was like, what the frack is this?
Oh, don't put you're putting the torpedo launcher inside your ship. It needs room to grow the torpedoes. I guess that will work, but
I don't know. Does it get weird if it can't actually
it's okay.
grow the torpedo?
It looks weird, but it works. Yeah, you can put them on the side like that too. They'll just grow on the other side. Yeah,
Okay.
so I like really. It's cool to have the asteroid bases because everything is just made of blocks, right? Everything in the game is just blocks, and the asteroids are made of blocks, and so we can have giant asteroids with giant thrusters, which are always in like science fiction movies and stuff, and I always thought were super cool.
Oh no, that's a great idea. I mean, Planetary Annihilation kind of does that, but
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, those guys are pretty amazing. I like their game a lot.
I haven't really played much of it, but it's been getting mixed reviews.
Yeah, I think it's a little complicated, but it seems like it's really cool.
Uh-oh. I've
But
destabilized the ship.
I do love the idea of asteroid. Now the universe is just ships and asteroids. There aren't actually planets. I don't think I've seen any planets.
No planets. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just asteroids and planets.
Okay. Is that something that could be added later? I mean, what might be the reason for no? 'Cause I'm just curious. Why no planets?
Why no planets? Well, the idea with the game is to have it be like this like really kind of careful. There's no port on the front of the torpedo launcher, so you can't put it.
Yeah,
in your ship.
I figured that out the hard way.
What the hell are you doing, Jim?
Yeah, so like a big part of the game is like having this like really kind of continuous like world where everything is kind of like changeable. I've like watched alpha testers build these like giant battleships and then just go like erase all the asteroids, just like blow them up. And but, like we didn't want to add things like planets that would kind of like break up the scale of the game.
That makes sense.
Like because you wouldn't be able to destroy them, or like would they have gravity, or like they would be at some like simulated scale where like we wanted to have every single thing in the game be destructible and changeable.
So you'd have to either abstract them or just make them so big that they'd be ridiculous.
Like we could make giant asteroids, which would kill the engine, and it wouldn't be fun anyway, right? Or we could abstract them, but didn't want to abstract anything as much as possible. I'd rather have like a simpler set of like tools in the game, but like you all interact with like 100% of them.
Yeah, one thing I got to admit, speaking of tools, I used to love building ships and Legos and in games and stuff, and now I find I just don't have the patience. Just give me a just pre-made design. I just want to shoot with it, or I just want to send it out in a fleet. I don't care. But one thing I like about this game is the design system seems not only simple but intuitive. Like pieces snap together. It's easy to, like Jim was showing on the stream. I don't know if you saw, but he selected a portion of a ship and then just switched it around, copied it, and just put it on the other side. Very easy, very intuitive. And it seems to be a big part of this game is to make a very simple and intuitive design system. Like how much work went into the design system to make it work as easily as it does?
Yeah, that is a big goal of the game, and it was a lot of work. I mean, I've been working on the whole game for like about almost 2 years now, and
oh wow.
And like a pretty big chunk of that was making the editor nice. It's got like undo and copy and paste and all that stuff. Because I'm totally on the same page as you. Like when I was like a little kid, I would play games and I would spend hours like customizing things, and I had so much free time and it was great. But now, like, sometimes I just want to blow things up and like have it, and I don't want to have to customize it and have to learn all this complicated stuff. And the idea with the ship editor, and this is probably an ideal that we're still striving for, is that it's really easy to build a functional ship, but it's hard to build like a really good ship, like a really pretty, cool-looking, powerful ship. So we definitely have people that build these like Borg ships, which are just like squares with thrusters on the outside and lots of guns in the middle, and those are functional. And you can build one of those, and you can just kind of fly around and blow things up, and it's not too much. You don't have to think about it too much, which is good. But like also we're trying to have some depth, so that if you want to build something really beautiful, you can do that too.
Yeah, like there's this one ship on the Kickstarter, it's this like blue crystalline ship with like 4 wings
Yeah.
on it. That's just stunning. To me, that's a stunning design. And I love that you can do that in this game. To me, that's just a gorgeous ship.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, folks, go to the Kickstarter, look at it. It's pretty awesome. But I love how you've made the tools to make that pretty straightforward. That even someone who has no patience anymore can sit there and build a decent-looking functional ship in just a few minutes. Like even Jim is doing. He's been spending as much time tweaking his ship. What are you adding now, Jim?
I bought autocannons. I have no idea what they do, so we're gonna figure that out.
They sound auto-y and cannon-y, so that can't be a bad thing.
Oh yeah, totally that.
So basically, now here's a question. So basically, you start the game off with a limited set of blocks, and you can unlock them by not only stealing from other factions, but also unlocking them.
Yeah, you can
resources.
You can just apply resources and unlock them. It's kind of like a skill point system.
Okay, so that's kind of like the game's version of research. You put enough points into something.
Yeah.
And okay, that's pretty cool. So you don't get everything right off the bat. You actually do have to work for it.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. You can go blow things up and spend your resources.
What?
Right. But what I do like is you have access to enough that
Brian's
you don't
talking
feel like you have to grind to get to the good stuff. Like it seems like at the beginning, like because I started a game from the very beginning, and there was already a good amount of stuff that you could play with, so it didn't feel grindy in the beginning, which I liked.
That's good. Yeah, I know. I hate grindiness, and I have tried very hard to avoid that. The ramp is pretty fast too. Like if you want to unlock all the blocks, you can probably, and if you're trying, you can do it in a couple hours probably. It's really the idea is really just to is not to make you grind for hours, and the idea is really that it's like a skill game, and that you progress in the game by getting better at building spaceships. So we have a little bit of sort of like character progression in the sense of you have to unlock the blocks, but it's fairly minor.
So Knack asked in the stream, how do you up your P? And that was the limit of the size of the ship you can build. Do you up that by building more like foundational blocks, like those gray blocks, as Jim is showing?
No, actually, you go into the U menu
ship? Do you
right
have
here.
To unlock the ability to do so? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, you unlock it in the same way as you unlock the new blocks. You can spend resources.
I was talking, but I was muted. Yeah, so I've got it on the screen here. When you hit the U key and you go in and you're buying your components, there's also a place here where I can spend 57C and 57R, and it gives me 19 more P.
Oh, I see what that is. Okay, that's pretty awesome. So it's like a whole shop there. It's like a whole Walmart of parts, basically. Wall part, basically.
It's more of a Whole Foods of parts, I would say.
Oh God, I can't afford that.
Oh, that's true. Maybe like a Trader Joe's of parts.
Okay, yeah, I love that. Trader Joe's of parts.
Okay.
Somewhat artisan, but still affordable.
Yeah, and limited selection, but everything's good.
Nice, perfect. So yeah, there you go, Knack. Apparently, you upgrade that, like you unlock that, unlike you unlock anything else. So, how big can these sectors be? Can you choose the size of a sector when you start a game? So maybe you can have a quick little conquest game, or then maybe later you could load like this massive map that'll take several hours to unlock. You know, how does that work? How does that work exactly?
Well, excuse me. So currently everything is just one size. There's actually a variable in the game, I think, which is called something like galaxy size in sectors, which I can just change. So if there's that, I could definitely add that feature. But that the galaxy is this. So it creates like this big map, and it's kind of round. It's vaguely round, and it's full of all different kinds of factions, and you can just like kind of take a different route through it. Like you don't have to conquer the whole thing. Like you probably don't want to conquer the whole thing; it would take too long. But you can just kind of explore around until you find some area that you want to conquer, and then you can conquer that area. And it's not so big that it takes hours to fly across, but it's not so small that you'll run out of sectors pretty fast. So the idea is that we have this like one fairly fixed-sized area, and that it kind of like refreshes itself a little bit gradually as you play, and you kind of like pick a part of it and try to conquer it, and it will kind of react to you, and so you don't have to like create new games over and over again.
Oh, I see. So the universe is kind of dynamic in that it reacts to what you do and will spawn new ships probably and stuff like that, and maybe new asteroids, for example, like something like that.
It doesn't spawn new asteroids, but the enemy space stations will spawn new ships, and
Just like yours will, basically.
just like well, yeah.
Nice.
So it can be pretty intense to try to conquer like a really heavily defended section.
Ah. And this isn't a roguelike, so there isn't permadeath or anything. It sounds
No. Yeah, you get respawned easily. Definitely not. That would like totally. Yeah. So this is the test feature where you can test everything in tournament mode.
And it's what's interesting is it does it for you, so you don't have to actually pilot the ship. I was kind of
Oh,
shocked by
really?
that. Yeah.
Wow, that's a really it's a very simple design, but holy crap, Jim.
I know, right?
It's like this circle of laser death is basically what that is.
The mining lasers are cheap, and wow, yeah, they only cost 3p. I could make like an entire boat of mining lasers here. I think that they are perhaps a little OP, but
You're with that. It looks like you're only using what, about half your available P there.
something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
You could have a lot more. Then try to go up against something with really long range weapons, and we'll see how that goes.
I'm trying to get it out
Oh,
of swastika mode. I don't want to get any complaints.
Oh my god.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, on the stream, folks, if you're only audio, on the video, Jim is building a space swastika. That's basically what you're building, Jim.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I got it away from that. But the way that these things line up is you can't align them on center, so they have to be off a little bit. So it's like, well, I got to put it somewhere. So.
See, I'll feel better if you build a giant Star of David, so we can actually have Jews.
Oh yeah, Jews in space. It could happen in this game. Mel Brooks
Jews
presents.
in space.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Autocannons are
I wanted
expensive.
that movie so bad. Which are the autocannons? Are they
There's those big double barrel things. They are expensive.
Well, test the thing, man. I want to see.
Hold on, I gotta see what I get for guns here.
Yeah, you might want a few more thrusters too.
We need the more guns. Oh no, it's a Death Star, man. We don't need.
Do you have more guns than thrusters on that thing?
Yeah, I have. It is entirely made of guns. The entire thing is a gun.
I just love that you can do that. Nack says the ball from I've not seen Phantasm.
From Phantasm. That's true. Yeah, man. Can you give me a part that's actually like you need melee attacks, right? So I need to be able to put like a drill on the front of my ship and run up and drill them.
People asking for those. That would be cool. I think so too.
There was a game recently that did have that. It was called Ring Runner, and it was a top-down game, and it had melee attacks where you had maces and drills and stuff. It was actually pretty great.
Yeah, Ring Runner's a pretty good time.
Cool. Yeah, I've seen it. I should check it out.
Yeah, you should.
Poop.
It's a fun. I shouldn't promote another game on here, but why the hell not? Ring Runner's a good time, so you should definitely look into that. Because melee, I had fun doing just close-up melee. Because you got the physics for it, so you can just knock other players into asteroids and stuff and damage them. That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean you can still ram people, and it does do collision damage.
Yeah, I noticed that. That was like, honestly, as I was playing, I was kind of annoyed by that. Like, damn it, stop hitting me.
It's really
Stop hitting me.
it's easy to crash into the space plants or something like that, and then everything blows up.
Oh yeah, I always crash into asteroids. I was like, damn it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Because there were a couple of ships that were just a little too nimble for me.
Yeah.
And, oh, I think you're over your limit, Jim. You're over your P.
Dang it.
You're over your P limit. You better go to the bathroom and let some of that out.
Oh no. Alright, so this is basically
Sorry.
as good as it's gonna get.
Sorry.
You're not sorry. There's no regret.
I couldn't help it. I've got a dirty mind. Okay. Oh, you're still over the limit. You
Maybe-
just leave that hole, man. Leave that hole right there. Just leave that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. What's happening?
Okay.
Alright, well,
Test
I
it,
can't
man.
get enough thrusters on here.
How much
Alright,
do your thrusters?
we will now test the power of this fully operational battle station.
Yeah, Jim has built basically a giant, kind of a circle square thing with thrusters in the middle. Just
Yeah, we'll
Made
name
up
it this the
guns.
circle jerk, and in fact, that'll be the name.
I
Oh
don't know
God!
what the- I don't know what the lament is, but that's what.
Oh gosh, that's amazing.
Whoa.
I can't turn. That's pretty great.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah, you're not
can't
gonna be able to turn it all. 'Cause you don't
That's
have any,
okay. We don't need to turn.
Thrusters.
Turning's highly overrated.
You can use the use one of the if you press R to get the absolute control scheme. You can use that. Press R twice, I think.
Yeah, Jim hit R twice.
Oh yeah, there it is. That's
There you
beautiful.
go. Still kind of slow, but
I do like it. Well, you know, it takes time. How did the Death Star get to Yavin? Anyway, that's what we want to know.
It's got thousands of little engines on its surface and a hyperdrive. I don't really know. I just made that up, but that's my guess.
It does take a long time to destroy these hexes. Will it? Yes. Yes, it will. Oh, that's pretty
Oh,
great.
for the asteroid.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at all them lasers. That's a lot of lasers.
That's a lot of
dude.
lasers. I can put out some
That's-
heat.
yeah.
That's very lasery. Yeah, there isn't any. That's kind of nice that there isn't heat
I
dissipation.
could probably get more lasers
Very
on
well.
here if I really tried.
So yeah, I was just thinking there. You can just shoot lasers indefinitely. There's like no ammo and no heat or anything to stop you from just holding down that fire button and shooting indefinitely. The only thing really stopping you is your terrible ass aim. It sounds like.
Oh, there's yeah, there is an energy mechanic.
Oh,
you
is
don't have-
there?
I don't think you have enough weapons for it to really matter. But if
Oh.
you have like if you have more weapons than this, then you'll run out of energy gradually.
More weapons?
Yeah. this is
Yeah.
not that
Well, I
many.
saw there was generators that you could buy.
There's,
Yeah.
His whole thing is weapons. I mean, how many more? This is just a flying
Nah, it's only-
turret, basically.
It's only got like 20.
Only
That's not
20.
I'll load up some of the
Yeah.
stuff that's in the saved games that they sent us. It's pretty massive.
Yeah,
Those are
there's a
more
big-
graceful. That's like the anime designs of spaceships.
Yeah,
they look-
load one of them up. Load one of them up, Jim.
I want to
Oh,
murder
that's-
something with this thing, but it takes me forever to get anywhere. You have to really commit.
You're going in the wrong direction. You have to go down.
Yeah, Jim, they can see you coming from
Oh.
like a mile away, and they just like turn tail because like hey, they don't want to deal with you. This massive, just like a wall of guns with like a couple little piddly engines on it. Like, here I come. I'm a wall of guns. Those are your guys, Jim. Why are you shooting at your guys?
Yeah, go right. You have to go
I'm doing it. The stream's delayed by quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Also, your ship is really, really slow.
It is amazingly slow.
If
Because
you're,
it. Oh wow, there's a large enemy.
That's a big ass asteroid.
No, wait till you see this. Oh, we're gonna kill each other through the. Oh, I'm dead. Wow.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
see, It's like
Oh, look at that guy.
That did not end well at all.
Oh my God. That is.
one of those.
Oh yeah,
look at this big fella.
one of those, he says.
Oh, whoa. Oh, wow. You were killed in like 3 seconds.
I know, right?
Not even 3, like 2. Oh, he just gobbled up your. So why don't you, go to
Yeah, I get one of these fancy ones.
one of those fancy pre-made jobbies.
Yeah.
So
Let's go with the. This one looks really artsy. Slot 3, the
Oh, I can't
USS
see.
Arthur.
I wonder if the.
Ooh, wow, that's got very large guns. What the heck? This would-
I'm delayed on this stream.
It looks like a space spider. or something. It's the big green one that's got just 2 giant cannons on it.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh, that thing's maneuverable.
Oh, this
too.
guy's got a whole fleet that follows him around too. Very nice.
Yeah, the big octagon on the back is a factory.
Oh,
so
neat.
Press F, I think press F to spawn guys.
Oh, so it does. Oh God, that's awesome.
Ooh, really? Oh,
That
yeah,
is
you got
crazy.
You got a whole pestle of critters just following you around there. Look at that. Oh, no.
I just keep tapping F and it keeps pooping out dudes.
Wow.
That's
look
great.
at all the beams hitting that one guy. Oh, this is fun. I could see it being fun on a stream. Just look at all the
This-
lasers, people.
God, you know
Oh, look
what-
at all the lasers.
what would be so awesome is if it had co-op where you didn't have, or not really so much co-op, like you didn't have multiple people on a team, but you would say, you know, there's 10 factions in the game. That means you can support 10 players, and each player gets their, you know, they start in their own little kingdom, and then it's sort of a war of attrition. That would be really cool.
That's
Oh,
the
with-
ship
with-
from the
with multiplayer.
Kickstarter. Are you
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah, the multiplayer. Yeah, no, it would be super cool, right? But I don't know. I think that might be beyond our scope.
Yeah, at least for the
That's-
first go round.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Multiplayer is not easy to implement, so yeah, that makes total sense.
Dude.
Make a good game. Make a good. Oh my god, dude.
These ships
Yeah, that-
are pretty ridiculous. They're like murder tacos.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's one of the game. That's like the game at the top. That's like the ship at the top of the Kickstarter. Is that like that crescent moon looking thing with like 80 gazillion guns on it?
Yeah.
That's murdering you. Oh, there's 2 of them. Oh no
Yes.
wonder you're dying. So
Yeah,
fast.
exactly that. So let's switch to another ship. That's cool though that it's got a factory on the back of it. Very nice.
I think if you want the most variety of ships, you got to load the zero save game, and that like gives you a ton of ships to play with.
Oh,
Yeah, that's one of our alpha testers actually. Bill. That was just a game he sent to me because there was a bug and I was debugging it. And then I was like, wow, there's tons of cool ships in here.
man! And what's neat is he layered the engines on there. It didn't become immediately apparent that you could do that, but you can stack them so that you don't need as much surface area, but you can have engines in depth,
Oh, that's
kind
pretty
of thing.
So yeah, Jim, hit 3, and then there's like a ship that's like, it looks like a lot like the Discovery.
Oh yeah,
Guns
okay.
on.
So this is all the. Yeah, that's very nice. I didn't realize that this was here.
Oh yeah, you can select all kinds of crap. I was playing with that really long bullet-looking thing that looks like I said, the Discovery, and it's a fun little ship.
What is
Especially
this
it's got
mess?
humming-
Oh
what's-
God, that's a lot of engines. Wow,
yeah, it's the one
it-
on the top, Jim.
this is
that's,
just an
6
engine. No, hold on. I
16,
got to see what
30
this thing
something?
does.
Oh, okay. Which one?
Oh wait, nope. 3.
Sorry for folks that are just on the audio. We're watching Jim on the stream a little bit, so just please indulge us, because it's.
Oh, I
it's-
drag it.
it's-
That's
it's-
what you have to do.
It's actually fun watching someone else. Like, you can't say that about a lot of games where you watch someone else play. You just like, I don't know. I don't want to watch someone play. Even though that's kind of what I do. It takes not only a good game, but a good commentator. And this is a good game to watch someone else play, I think, because of the variety.
Right, and we'll find
because
good
of-
commentators someday.
And well,
But-
hello, hi, right here, I think. But
Oh,
yeah, also just the variety of ways you can get into trouble by building just ships that won't work or ships that don't do what you expect. Like, there was one ship I played where, like, it was just like a rafter of missiles. Like, you know how you have rafters, like row 1, row 2? It was just like that, but they were all missiles. Like, instead of chairs, it was missiles. It's like, Jesus Christ. Wasn't very effective because you can only shoot straight, and couldn't hit everything all the time. So that wasn't great.
Hilariously so, though. Hopefully.
But
this thing's just continuing to build itself, but it hasn't built any guns yet.
I don't think it has any guns. Maybe.
It needs like just a big mass on the front, and you can just use it as. Oh, it is a ram. Yeah, that's pretty great. Because when you
That's
hit enemy
okay.
ships, it knocks pieces off of them, right? So
Oh God.
I'm kind of we're jousting here, me and this
Oh,
enemy ship.
that's funny. Can you do that? Can you like make a ship that's? Oh damn! I guess you can, because you just ran through that mofo.
Yes, sir.
Ah, sweet.
You just took him out. I mean, I guess if you want to forget the guns, ramming speed type of thing.
That's right. Ludicrous speed, Captain.
Oh, ow, ow.
It's very hard to
That's-
aim.
That's just a little.
But yeah, it's surprising how much fun this game is just to watch someone else play, because that's not always the case when you're watching someone else play. Like, I want to be playing, I don't want to watch someone else play. But this is this is actually fun to watch someone else play, just because of all the different ways you can get into trouble, wow, and cause trouble.
Oh, this is the missile destroyer right here.
Keep hitting asteroids. I love how you hit an asteroid and you just, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Guy right there.
That's
That
kind
big-
of.
That big long feller. That's my favorite so far. Is that
Huh.
big long feller right there? Oh, not that guy. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about with the rafters of missiles
Oh, torpedoes. Yeah.
or torpedoes. Sorry, because yeah, missiles are homing and torpedoes are not. They're just they're big dumb fire.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
They're big,
Wow.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, they're big dumb fire warheads of death.
Sometimes that's all we need.
Ooh, yeah, but they'll cut through just about anything. Those things. You just gotta aim them right.
Oh, sweet. Nice.
Ooh,
Yeah.
oh, lovely. Yeah, that's another thing. Because of all the ships that are all the ships are basically blocks, and all the trees are blocks, and all these little asteroids. Things blow up real good. They blow up real satisfyingly. You know, which I gotta say is impressive, because it's not always done well. You know, like you'll play a game and ships just kind of like when they blow up. You know, but in this game, ships blow up real nice.
Oh.
Which you want.
Yes,
you know?
explosives. I know. I think explosives are very important.
Oh, they're
Like-
insanely important. Well, you want to get that satisfying. Like, there's nothing like playing a game like Free Space 2 and you're near a capital ship when it blows up and you get caught in that wave. You know, it rocks your whole ship and you're like, that's how it's done. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, he finally cored me. Dang.
man! Look at that thing just kicking your laser in your butt.
It took him a long time to core down into me, though.
He is slicing you in half like a knife. That is great. Yeah, folks, to really appreciate, I think. I mean, if you're listening to the audio, we're trying to be as descriptive as we can, but you really should watch the video, because this is a fun game to watch things blow up in. Because it's very colorful, and
Yeah, what the heck is going on with this guy? You'll see in just a couple seconds. So
I
it's like
hesitate-
there's a ship, but he's got like blocks stuck to him that are different colors, right? So I would assume, well, it's from different factions or whatever, but they don't seem to be. I don't know. I can't tell what function they would. Yeah,
Oh.
I guess.
Haha. Yeah. So there's a tiny fighter, and he's picked up 2 missile launchers and a factory.
Oh,
So
okay.
those are like giant ass, like huge missiles launchers, which are like bigger than his whole ship from another faction, and that factory is from your faction.
the AI
Ah.
did that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So
AI, it doesn't have an extremely good design sensibility, so it just kind of sticks them on wherever they stick.
damn, this thing is a murder wagon.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite ship so far. This thing will fuck your day up. This big, long, whatever this thing is with the turrets and the lasers. It's maneuverable as shit too.
Yeah, I thought I was making some cool ships, and then I load up some of this stuff, and it's like, oh well, you know,
You were making
don't
ships
quit your day job. All right.
ships out of Play-Doh, Jim, and this is actual Legos. This is actually this. You were
Yeah.
making ships out of no.
I just-
better not. You were making ships out of Duplo.
I
This
just
is the actual.
I just really, really wish that there was multiplayer to this, because to hear, you know, like the screams of anguish over TeamSpeak after you like murder somebody's beautiful creation, yeah, that would be because there's so much creativity that you can do in here, and it's really a shame that you can't really show it to anybody by shooting at them.
Well,
So
I guess the best thing you could do, and correct me if I'm wrong, Arthur, is you could basically take your friends' ship designs and put them in the game, and then fight them in front of your friends and see how they do.
well, yeah, there's that too, right? So I guess if you said, okay, I'm gonna let if you treat a friend of yours as a faction, maybe you can just load their library as a faction, and that way you get all their ships or something.
Yeah, yes, we're definitely gonna have that kind of thing. I think we might do something like have that happen automatically, so that like you just start up the game, and if you have some Steam friends, maybe it'll find their ships, or if you don't, it'll find some random ships.
Ooh, very
then,
nice idea.
Like we can track how many times we killed their ship, and then like publish those statistics somewhere. So, and how many times your ships killed other people. It might be kind of fun to see.
Oh, that would be that leaves a lot of room for trash
Yeah.
talk.
Well, the thing that would make it truly competitive is not if it grabs random ships and assembles a faction from a bunch of different people's designs, but if it was just purely, I want to use one person's design homogenously, like their library, then that would be
Oh,
for sure.
Knack had an interesting idea in the chat. He's basically kind of like gratuitous space battles. Just set up a bout between, like in the arena, I guess, between your ships and your friend's ships, best 2 out of 3, and have them go at it with the AI.
Yeah, that's pretty much tournament mode. You'll be able to run your own battles and tournaments.
Oh, there you go.
For sure. Yeah.
Beautiful. And then you can stream that and go, haha, Jim, your ships suck.
Yeah, it's been super fun to stream them and watch the alpha testers. Like we published the build that was going to be for the tournament, like a week before the tournament, and then the alpha testers were all like trash talking each other on the forum, being like, "My ship is going to be invincible." And then actually during the tournament, one of the guys who had built this really competitive ship, his ship got like destroyed by a mine layer, like extremely unlike. Which was like super hilarious, at least tragic.
But that is, what is that? That big green, is that like a Christmas tree? What is that?
I don't know. This is like space kelp.
That's a bug.
Oh.
But
look how much resources it left.
No, this is like my favorite thing when this kind of thing happens though, because it's like kind of a bug, but like it's kind of cool, right?
I love it. It's like a Great Barrier Reef, basically.
Yeah. Those are madly reproducing space plants. We've had a lot of kind of cancer type bugs where certain kind of spaceships will just like reproduce too much.
You should do that. Then that could be like a thing that the AI has to fight together against.
Well, that would give you a reason to keep mowing the plants down, right? It's like if they would.
Yeah, like overgrowing space fungus.
Well, you just have a second kind. You call it like space kudzu, and it does what it does.
We need space whales.
So something's going on here where I've got a lot of slowdown. I don't know if it's the particles or what, because it happened as soon as this guy started shooting these giant torpedo thingies at me.
Huh. I would guess that it would be plants. They're kind of like having that many plants all colliding with each other is probably causing a lot of physics good. The physics solver is probably getting a little bent out of shape.
Hey, Arthur, did you ever play a game, I think it was for the PS1, called Carnage Heart?
No. I think I'm a little young for a PS1.
Oh, okay. Well, I've not played it either, but Knack in the chat has mentioned it before. It's a game, apparently, I believe, where you build robots and build their AI, I believe, and then have them fight other robots, I believe.
Carnage Heart? I should definitely check it out.
Carnage Heart. Yeah, if you have a PS3, it can run PS1 games. So definitely keep that in mind.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, you're getting attacked by a plant, by an asteroid with guns or something.
Well, see, that's the thing. Do the plants choose to launch their seeds like weapons or something, or what's going?
Yeah, they have AI. They're like flowers with missiles, explosive seeds, or something like that.
Because their seeds do damage you, it looks like, when they hit you.
They totally damage you. Yeah, they totally shoot it. I mean, they're totally shooting at you. They're not.
Like, back off, buddy.
But they won't attack you unless you attack them. Like if you fly away for a while and then wait and come back, they'll stop shooting at you.
Oh man, Jim, you're getting lasered to infinity and beyond here. My gosh,
It's happening. Yeah.
it's going on. It is going on right now. So.
Getting eaten by plants.
In Soviet Russia, plants eat you.
So if the Kickstarter is successful, which it looks like it will be, what's the roadmap after that? Like when will backers be able to get early access on Steam shortly after the campaign ends? Will it then go on to early access sales on Steam eventually? Like what is the plan after the campaign is done?
Yeah, so we're planning to release beta. So the backers who back at the beta tier. In about 2 months, it's on the Kickstarter page. It's about 2 months from today, I think, approximately.
Oh, cool.
So that's going to be the beta. And then the final game will be out on next February.
Oh yeah, I see that. Okay.
For everyone. And so that like we've promised a bunch of features for the Kickstarter, and we'll definitely have those by February. And the game will be polished and finished and won't crash and all that. But I'm not sure how much more development is going to go on after that. I might just keep working on it. I've been having fun so far. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Yeah, because I mean, this is such a customizable game. People can play it for like forever, really. For
Yeah.
a quick burst of space shooty action.
Yeah, I've had some uptesters more than like 100 hours into the game, which is kind of insane.
100 hours. It's amazing. I mean,
So
you look at on the surface of a game like this, you look at it and you're like, this is not a 100-hour game. But
Yeah.
the more we're playing it and like how much is actually going on, I could see this being a 100-hour game.
Yeah, it's like there's not 100 hours of like content to consume, right? But there's like you can generate 100 hours of content by playing the game. I think that's the idea.
Yeah, no, so yeah, definitely emergent stuff. So my last question is about the soundtrack. Now I backed at a tier where I get the soundtrack. Tell me, because the music is very atmospheric. Tell me about how that's coming along.
Oh, sweet.
Who's making the music and what the inspiration for the music is and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So I'll do my best. I'm not the musician, but and so the music is being made by a guy named Peter Brown, and his musician name is Peaks. And so, yeah, he's really into this kind of really cool electronic atmospheric music. I think it's really fun like when we get together to work on a game because it's like he's got this room full of all these amazing like archaic synthesizers and like weird audio machines and stuff like that. He's like so it's a really cool guy. He's using like artistically in the music, he's using a lot of kind of like sample recordings. Actually, like the music sounds kind of electronic, but it's actually a lot of field recordings where he actually went out into the world and recorded some samples and stuff like that. And and that I think that contrasts nicely with the game graphics, which are kind of mathematical.
Right.
And yeah, it's just kind of space music.
Yeah, I actually in the stream, you won't hear it in the podcast, but I turn the music on up in the stream. So
Sweet.
I really like it. I need to back it at the soundtrack level, that's for sure.
Yeah, you should. If you really like the soundtrack, you should totally back the soundtrack level. So it totally gets way more money if you do that than if you just get a game.
Well, you'll be happy to know I had originally back to the soundtrack level, but now I just upped it just now to the beta level.
Okay, sweet. Wow, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I mean, I've been having fun not only playing this game, even this early alpha access, but I've been having fun watching Jim play it. And that's something, man. I gotta say, you can't say that about every game.
Because I don't play well, that's for sure. The entertainment does not come from my skill.
But I was gonna say, that's part of the fun, is watching your ship be blown apart that you just carefully crafted. You know, that's part of the fun, is like you spend time putting this together, and oh look, it just got sliced in half. Oh darn.
Yeah. It's like I think it's like I've watched a lot of people play the game, like, and it's always like super fun. And I think one of the best things, like you can kind of like you come up with this theory about building a spaceship in a certain way, right? like there's this mine weapon in the game, and they're like really hard to use right now. Like if they just spawn it's like a torpedo, and they create a huge explosion, but it doesn't like shoot them out at all, right? It just like spawns this little block and just floats there, and it's like really really hard to like hit anything with. You have to like fly towards them and then drop the mines and like turn away at the last minute or something. And but like I had this one guy that was trying to build a mine ship using centrifugal force, like so the ship would spin itself really really fast using the thrusters, and then the mines would like fly off in every direction. And it was like not that practical, right? Like for the same amount of energy, you built like a way better ship. But it was just cool to see that like you can kind of create like little challenges for yourself in the game and be like, oh man, I wonder if that would work, and right, and then do that. That's the idea.
That's pretty awesome. And we have a request in the chat for the soundtrack to also be in FLAC format.
Oh, in FLAC. Yeah, we can definitely do that. He's got all the sources. You should check out. He's got a website. If you Google Peak Sounds, he's got a SoundCloud with a bunch of samples on it and stuff like that.
Wait, what's his name? Peter Brown?
Yeah, Peter Brown. But his musician thing is called Peaks.
Okay, we'll just have you send us. I'll just have you send a link to us, and then we'll include that in the show notes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sure.
Oh, well, I gotta say, I was excited after playing this game a bit. Now I'm even more excited about the game after talking about it a bit. So I'm hoping that what this podcast does is get you even pledges so you could make this game as awesome as possible. Because I gotta be honest, it's already pretty awesome. I've been enjoying it. It looks like Jim's been enjoying it too. I mean,
yeah, I wasn't sure what I was getting into at first.
Yeah, it can be pretty derpy.
well,
But that's the charm of it.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd
is a
fix
good-
that.
That is a good word for it. That's a good word for it. Charming. This is a very charming game. And so that seems like a good place to wrap it up. We just lost the stream and everything, so might as well wrap it up. We've been talking for about an hour and a half, so we don't want to bore people either, because I can easily start rambling about you. So Arthur, I want. Yeah, exactly. But Arthur, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on and tell us about Reassembly. It's been fun to play. It's been fun to watch. It looks like you just. I just refreshed the page, and you just passed 16,000 just recently. I mean, it was at 15,000 like a little bit ago. So now 15,000 something a little bit ago. So now it's at 16,000. So that's awesome. And now let's see if the click track has changed. Up, you're still on track to be 127% of your goal. So yes, but
Yay.
folks, don't listen to that and think, oh, I don't have to pledge. They're going to be success. No. If you want this game, and you want this game, you do, trust me, go to the Kickstarter that we're going to link to in the show notes and back this crap, because it's going to be fun.
And eventually, when Microsoft buys you for $2 billion, then you must remember us.
Yes,
And-
if that ever happens.
Yeah.
I'll leave some grilled bricks on your doorstep.
We are giving this game the junkie bump. That's what we're...
The junkie bump.
Oh, sweet. Can I put that on my website? How about the...
I don't know if we should start doing that, actually. Yes,
How about
say that. You can quote me on that.
The junkie bump, maybe the junkie hit.
Because I was copying the Colbert bump, but that works too.
Okay.
So yeah, Arthur, thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to see how far this game goes once it's finally matured. And good luck with the campaign. It's doing well, but it can, the more the merrier in terms of money.
Yes.
So folks, thank you for watching and listening. As always, if you have a question or a suggestion, you can hit us up in the comments or at hail@spacegamejunkie.com. We actually have some guests coming up that were user suggestions. I don't remember exactly who right now, but you can look on our new calendar. I don't know if you saw, but we now have a calendar on the site, which makes it easy to see who's coming up, and that's going to stay updated. So yeah, thank you folks very much for listening and watching, and have a great night.